This is a true story of a man named Rashed, and he himself narrates his journey. I was no more than 30 years old when my wife gave birth to our first child. I still remember that night clearly. I stayed out all night with my friends, as usual, wasting time in useless talk and mockery. I had this terrible habit. I could imitate anyone's voice perfectly, and I used it only to make fun of people. My tongue left no one safe, not even my own friends. Some people avoided me just to escape my sharp jokes. That night, I went too far. There was a blind man begging in the market. I cruelly stretched out my foot and caused him to fall. He turned around, helpless, not knowing who had pushed him. And my friends, they laughed because of me. Late that night, I came home to find my wife in distress. She looked exhausted, struggling to hold back tears. "Rashed, where were you?" she asked softly. "Where do you think? On Mars?" I scoffed. "With my friends, of course." Her eyes watered. "Rashed, I think the baby is coming. I'm in so much pain." Her voice shook, and so did my heart. I suddenly felt how badly I had neglected her, especially in her 9th month. I rushed her to the hospital. Her labor was long and painful, and eventually I left my number and went home to sleep. A call woke me with congratulations. My son, Salem, had been born. Overjoyed, I went to see him, but the staff insisted I speak to the doctor first. She looked at me with sadness. "Your son cannot see. He has a serious deformity in his eyes." In that moment, the image of the blind man I mocked flashed before my eyes. My wife, though tired, remained calm and accepting. She always warned me against mockery. She used to call it backbiting, and she was right. As for me, I avoided my son. I pretended he wasn't home. Whenever he cried, I left the room. My wife showed him endless love. I showed him nothing. Salem grew, and we discovered he was also crippled. My wife's love only deepened. Mine still failed to appear, even after the birth of our other sons, Umar and Khalid. The years passed in heedlessness. I worked, ate, slept, and wasted nights with friends, while my wife prayed for my guidance. Until that day. One Friday, I woke earlier than usual as I had plans with friends. While passing by, I heard Salem crying, for the first time since he was a baby. My heart hesitated. Should I leave, or see why he was crying? I chose to stay. "Salem, why are you crying?" Hearing my voice, he stopped. His small hands felt around him, trying to move away, as if saying, "Now you remember me? Where were you all these years?" He finally admitted he was crying because Umar, who always took him to the masjid, was late, and Salem feared he wouldn't get a spot in the first row for Jumu'ah. I don't know what came over me, but I said, "Oh, Salem, don't be sad. Do you know who's taking you to the masjid today?" "Umar?" he asked in disbelief. "No, my son, it's me." Tears streamed from his eyes. He held my hand tightly. I wanted to take the car, but he said, "No, father, I want to walk. Every step to the masjid is written as a reward." I couldn't remember the last time I prayed in a masjid, or even made sujood. My heart trembled with fear and regret. We reached the masjid and found him space in the first row. After Salah, Salem asked for a Quran. I almost refused. How can he read? He's blind. Yet I placed it before him. He opened it and read Surah Al-Kahf by memory. My heart shattered. I hid my tears, but he felt them and wiped them away with his little hand. That moment changed my life. From that day, I never missed congregational prayer. I abandoned my old friends and found righteous companions. My tongue turned to dhikr instead of mockery. The fear in my wife's eyes vanished. Salem's face glowed with joy. His happiness felt like he owned the world. One day, my new friends invited me on a long journey of dawah. My wife encouraged me. Salem hugged me tightly as if he never wanted to let go. 3.5 months passed. I spoke to my family often, but never managed to speak with Salem. He was always at school or the masjid. I always sent him my salam, and my wife always laughed with joy, except the last call. Her voice was sad. "Convey my salam to Salem," I said. "Insha'Allah," she replied quietly. When I finally returned, little Khalid opened the door and jumped into my arms with joy, but something felt wrong. My wife's old sadness had returned to her eyes. "Where is Salem?" I asked. She lowered her head. Then Khalid spoke words that still echo in my soul. "Baba, Salem went to Jannah with Allah." I froze. Salem had fallen ill with fever 2 weeks earlier, and Allah had chosen him. I broke down. I remembered his hands wiping my tears, his arms hugging me, his smile guiding. I cried more than I had ever cried in my life. Salem was not blind. I was blind. Salem was not crippled. He stood firm on the straight path. Through him, Allah brought me back to faith. To this day, I miss him. To this day, I cry, for my guidance was written through his little hands. O Allah, reward Salam with the highest gardens of paradise by your mercy. O Allah, reunite us with our loved ones in Jannah. Never look down on anyone. The one you mock may become the reason for your guidance. Children with challenges are not burdens. They are special souls sent to illuminate hearts.